brought to you by the South-Dade Chamber of Commerce. I'm a business development manager for Florida Lamarck. We are a construction company here in Miami-Dade County. But I'm also privileged to serve on the board of the South-Dade Chamber of Commerce. Each week here on the South-Dade Shoutout, we introduce you to business owners, decision makers, and influencers that help make South-Dade the place to live, work, play, pray, and thrive. And today we have a wonderful opportunity. We're going to introduce you to Miss Kamar Brown. Miss Brown is the deputy manager with the city of Homestead. She's had a fascinating career in government and governance and is now working with a team that is poised to put the city of Homestead on the map. Welcome, Kamar.
Good morning, Richard. Thank you for having me.
No, I'm really, really excited to have you for so many, many reasons. Primarily because of the last thing I just said. The team that is now in place is fascinating. Before we get into that, talk to me a little bit about your journey your journey. How did you end up with the manager's office?
Thanks again, Richard, for having me. Thank you again to the South-Dade Chamber of Commerce. So, Kamar Brown, as you mentioned, I have joined the city of Homestead, I want to say 16 months ago. Prior to Homestead, the city manager, Dr. Zeri, and I worked with the city of Miami for about 8 years. Dr. Zeri was the assistant city manager and eventually became the deputy city manager. And I started in Miami as the business analyst supervisor within the IT department. There were several initiatives that were organizationally focused, and I eventually ended up working under him for several of these strategic projects. Mm-hmm. So we decided to we continued that journey, and then ultimately I left Miami. He left Miami maybe 2-3 years later, and then we decided to regroup and really put together what we think is a very strong team to elevate the city of Homestead.
Share with us your day-to-day. What falls under your portfolio of responsibility?
So on a day-to-day, my day generally starts around maybe 5-6 p.m.
Oh, my goodness.
Or 6 a.m. rather. Uh-huh. And depending on the day, if it's a Monday, we move into our standing executive management meeting with the team. Within my portfolio, we have our development services department, which handles all business licensing, special events, development permits, whether you're looking for a pretty large development or you're looking to replace a fence. Parks, recreation, and open spaces, we call it PROS, mm-hmm. Was within my purview. Communications, right? So how we position and tell the story of what is happening within the city and how we are serving the community. One of the departments that I'm extremely excited about is our energy utilities department. So I'm not sure if folks are aware, but the city of Homestead provides its own energy power to its residents and the businesses. So I'm very excited about the exposure to learn the business of providing power to communities, right? Code compliance and essentially the standard departments that have government run. It falls within my purview.
All the easy things.
All the easy things, you know, it's all the easy things. It's generally a long day, most days.
Yeah.
But we have a great team of director professionals. So, you know, we're able to execute very intentional projects that we hope will have long-standing impact within the city.
You notice when you came in, we had a very energetic conversation with Grant and Michael, and they were expressing to you what I've expressed to you and to everybody many times.
Yeah.
We've all noticed a change in tone, a change in the energy since the day that the mayor introduced Dr. Zeri as the new manager. What do you think has driven that change?
So I think I would say that where preparation meets opportunity, we it's about timing, and I think it's the right person in the right seat that enables an organization like our own to move forward. So I think everyone is fully aware the city of Homestead has had its history of challenges, right? Starting with Hurricane Andrew and what that has meant in the history of the city. But if you speak to anyone now, you will hear, yes, Hurricane Andrew is a part of our story. We lean into it, we embrace it, but we also want to move forward and see what the future of the city of Homestead looks like. In fact, under our newly adopted strategic plan, the city's tag is "The Future Lives Here." Right? So I think, and I give kudos to the mayor, Mayor Stephen Losner, for having the foresight, the council for having the foresight to appoint Zeri. And then for Zeri to assemble a team that, Zeri is great at the vision, and I tend to be very good at executing it, right? Oh, wow. So that is what I would say makes our dynamic a good dynamic. Sure. And then we are able to leverage the resources that the city has had for decades. We have a lot of long-standing employees, so the institutional knowledge, knowing what works in that environment, works for us, and then we're able to bring about the professionalism, the organizational excellence, understanding processes and executing of those processes. I think that is the energy that you're talking about.
Well, but the change has to come from the top.
100%.
And the what we have seen from the outside is almost more of a professionalization of the approach from the staff perspective.
100%.
Starting with the manager. You were part of an effort that just recently happened. It was a strategic session that the mayor and the council underwent. I believe you told me it's the first in the last...
First in 112 years, the very first. So during my interview process with the manager, one of the big things that he assigned, he says, Kimar, we need a strategic plan. And, because obviously if you have done this work for some time, you know that when you walk into an organization, you want to see the strategic plan. You want to understand systematically what is important to the organization and how the dollars are aligned, how we're programming things.
Right.
When we walked in, Zeri walked in, I believe, in March. I joined him in May 2024. We didn't have that plan, right? So the first task, or one of the first projects, is we needed to establish a strategic plan, and we needed to do that and ensure that the mayor, our council, the business community, the residents, and city staff participated in the development of that plan, because ultimately the plan works when it's considered the collective plan, right? Our plan. So we recently adopted it August 20th, I believe. Okay. Had a series of different community forums, series of sessions, surveys to really try to get to what were the important elements and what were the strategic priorities that we needed to capture in the plan.
I said strategy session, but it really was a series.
It was absolutely a series. I would say we kicked off at around January of this year.
My goodness.
Right? A series of different sessions, series of community meetings, and different workshops with our council to fine-tune, something that a mission statement. Right. Well, now we have our mission statement. Awesome. We have a vision statement that we are charged to. Mm-hmm. As I mentioned, the city adopted its first city tagline, right? So it's now "The Future Lives Here" in Homestead. And then we have our strategic priority areas. We have 5 strategic priority areas where it's engagement, infrastructure. We're heavily focused on improving and upgraded our infrastructure citywide to make ourselves ready for the continuous growth that we're seeing in the region. Internal operations, right? So organizational excellence is important for us to make sure that we are not only doing or following processes, but we're doing them in a methodical way that is reliable and compliant.
And it gives both the elected and the professional staff the license to go look at benchmarks, go look who else is doing what, how can we do things better, how can we implement proven
100%.
Processes into our story. Which one of the you mentioned the new tagline, and I've heard the mayor say it many times, but you also have a new marketing effort that came as a result of that.
Yes.
Tell me a little more about Discover Homestead.
So when I joined the city in May of 2024, I sat back and I think one of the cornerstone of any good leader is to be able to listen to what is happening around you, and there was a desire. I don't think there was an ability to articulate, but there was a desire to develop a collective effort and to connect the dots surrounding all of the different initiatives, all of the different opportunities in Homestead that today existed on its own, right? So later this year, November, we will launch what we call Discover Homestead. And it is a marketing brand that is intended to do a couple of things. One, we want to position the city and the region as a destination for folks to come visit and be entertained, participate, learn about, right? We have the Homestead Speedway. We'll talk a little bit about the upcoming sports complex that is coming to the Homestead, the city of Homestead. We have a little bit outside of the city, wineries. There is, Robert is here, right? There are so many different things that and businesses that exist within the region that I wanted to create a concept, right? A marketing brand that allows it to serve as an umbrella. So there is the what is currently in the city that should receive exposure, and then there is what's coming. Right, we are actively working on revitalizing our historic downtown. We have several storefronts that are positioned, ready, waiting for eateries, restaurants to come in and to improve those spaces, occupy those spaces. So the Discover Homestead, again, marketing brand, it's we're inviting folks to come in to choose us as the destination to enjoy, but then also to choose us as their next capital investment location for their business ventures. Part
of the challenge that we have working as board members of the chamber, also with the Economic Development Council of South Dade, is exactly that, introducing the concept of South Dade to our fellow Miami-Dade residents, And I love taking a picture, for example, driving down Chrome of the farms and that landscape, and saying, "Hey, guess what? This is Miami as well."
So what's interesting? I grew up in Miami, South Florida, the Aventura area, right? And the experiences is a big thing, right? Farm to table, that's a whole thing.
Yeah.
But it literally is real
right there.
in Homestead,
It's right there,
so
there.
Why not lean into what is uniquely Homestead, but also the layer that matters, and I think the layer that Discover Homestead brings is the packaging, the storytelling, and the branding that that is needed, right? The city, the businesses, they're already delivering these fantastic services. The cuisine is superior. Now we need to assist in ushering this umbrella of, hey, let's discover Homestead and let's create a situation where folks are able to collectively connect the dots and us develop a true business ecosystem that works for everyone.
You're being and I know it's a generous marketing tag because it's not just the city of Homestead, but it's all the surrounding area.
Exactly.
Homestead is larger than that. I'm going to go back to you,
Sure.
because you're the support that you're giving to Manager Ziri's. By the way, my discipline, I stopped from saying a series of sessions.
Okay.
So bad. We have to take that out. He can't do it unless there is a method to getting that vision out, the process.
Yes.
I used to play rugby when I
Okay.
was younger.
I'm a former soccer player.
So rugby, we have scrums.
Yeah.
You're a scrum master. Different concept, different thing, right? What is
Different
a scrum?
concept.
More organized.
So as a scrub master, it's funny. I'll tell you, I'm not really sure. Sometimes I think about, like, how did I get into this area of work? Because from an education perspective, political science, law school, that has been the actual formal education. But as a Scrum Master, it's really building on the principles and tenets of project management. We essentially enable, right? We enable teams to self-organize, and we establish guardrails and processes that helps folks work collaboratively.
Giving, like in your case, departments license to do the things that they need to
So
do.
I am a huge proponent of enabling my teams. Well, one, giving them the tools, and then enabling them to do their work well, right? And then identifying the measures for success. So in the case of the city of Homestead, earlier this month, all of 15 days ago, we launched a new system called EPL Build. That is phase one of us revamping the entire permitting process within the city.
Did you hear that?
Yes.
You hear a lot of people just...
Exactly. Permitting is always a huge topic
For any city.
Any city, it's a huge challenge. But the city of Homestead is even more so unique because there's a distance, right? There's literally a practical distance that if you need to have to walk into the city to drop off a permit, to resubmit plans, that in itself is a deterrence. So as we think about economic development, as we think about how to make it easier for folks to open businesses, it is extremely important for us to make investments in technology to make our services accessible to folks regardless of where they are. So EPL Build will facilitate folks submitting their permits online, uploading their documents and their drawings online, paying their fees online, and then having city staff review those submissions in a timely manner, right? Which is always the name of the game when we talk about construction, permits, and just the overarching building process.
I think we tend to not give importance, going back to the energy and the vision of leadership. If I'm working, and you're blessed to have a lot of longtime employees who have know the history of how things work. But if I am used to doing things in a certain way, but I see the energy from up top encouraging me to find ways to do it different. Now I feel like I'm empowered to do that.
100%. So one of my tactics as a leader when I walk into an organization is to assess and to ask the questions, and then really give folks an opportunity to say, okay, look, there are challenges here. There are challenges in every organization. But when you come to us and you have a discussion and you want to have a meeting, let's pair that issue that you're having with a potential solution. And oftentimes, because we've done this in different cities, you kind of know how to solve, right? You know how to take the different the things that have worked in other cities and make adjustments that it can work in this case, the city of Homestead. But it's extremely important that you have the people within the organization as a part of that process. So one of my big philosophies, the team tends to say, okay, Kimar is the techie among us, right? Which is fine. But really, the big thing for me, it's three things. It's technology is simply the tool. The two bigger elements is the people and the process, right? So I need to have people as a part of the problem solving, and then we need to have processes that work. They serve as guardrails, they serve as checkpoints, but they're not roadblocks for folks to get through to what they need to do, right? So the people, the process, and then technology serves as the tool.
I want to make sure that we touch on the on the Winter Wonderland event that we're having.
Oh yes.
Before there's other things. You have to come back because there's a bunch of things I want to touch on. But tell me about the Winter Wonderland really quick, so we make sure that people hear about it.
If you can think about it, we are bringing Rockefeller Center to the city of Homestead on November 22nd. Winter Wonderland. The Winter Wonderland experience is. I think last year, when we just joined the city, the mayor had a desire to bring back an outdoor ice skating rink to the city. And in the moment, an outdoor ice skating rink in South Florida. Okay, Mr. Mayor, can we look at this next year? Timing, that is something that you have to place if you actually have done it. Now that we're doing it, you actually have to place an order for an ice rink almost a year in advance.
No kidding. Okay.
So we took the direction. We placed we made the order with council's approval. And we will open a 60-day real outdoor ice rink. We are transforming Losner Park, and we are going to have different themed weekend, right? So we kick off on November 22nd, which will be our traditional tree lighting event. So that is the grand opening. And then every weekend through January 18th, we will have different activations. We've invited members of the community, the business community, right? So Losner Park is strategically located right in historic downtown Homestead. So it's surrounded by Seminole Theater. It is surrounded by different businesses, restaurants, and we've invited our business communities to also decorate their storefronts. And the idea is we really want to create a Winter Wonderland experience for the residents and the visitors who choose to come. For the storefronts that are ready and positioned to be occupied, right? We're decorating those storefronts. We're putting new vinyls on to say, hey, we're ready. We're open for business. And again, it's all a part of the Discover Homestead, the push for economic development and revitalizing our historic downtown.
Timing is everything, though. Thank you for that, and I'm looking forward to being there for the tree lighting. Timing is everything. So we have this Winter Wonderland that's really inviting folks to come in.
Yes.
But there's at least two other events and two other happenings in the city of Homestead that have a much broader appeal and a much broader impact.
100%.
First is the return of championship racing to the Homestead track next year.
Yep.
But then, and this I'm so excited about, the public-private partnership that was recently signed with Sports Performance Hub.
Yes, VSGS. Sports Performance Hub.
Just the promise of bringing a sports academy anchored by the home field for Miami FC, which
Yep.
is with the USL League. I'm so excited about that.
So it's so interesting. So the city, I'll tell you, we have been working hard at Homestead Regional Park. So the initial vision was we had a master plan for Homestead Regional Park where we wanted to create open space for our community, whether it's pickleball, basketball, providing amenities that they can enjoy. Like most large-scale projects, funding was a challenge, right? So we went through the paces of grants and all right, you didn't get it, we'll resubmit next year. We've worked with the Homestead Air Reserve Base to submit applications and really trying to activate that space.
Right.
Lo and behold, the manager received a unsolicited letter of intent. We brought it to council, and I think we had negotiations, maybe intense weekend, Saturday, Sunday, Monday through Friday negotiations, 3 to 4 weeks, and at the end of that, the city will hopefully in early Q1 of next year, we will do a groundbreaking for a $275 million investment to the city, right? And it's not only the building of these amenities, but it's also infrastructure improvements that that will live long beyond, a physical park, right? And then we have what we hope to be a very strong, long-tenured partnership with the Sports Performance Hub team. So it's very exciting. Having NASCAR, the NASCAR Homestead Speedway Championship back next year is another I would say feather in our cap, right? To really and as you said, timing makes everything, right? So we're having these 2-3 very big attention-seeking activations happening next year, which is it's a good problem for us to have, and we look forward to leaning into that and making sure that the city capitalizes on the attention as we look to do the necessary economic development work.
One of the things you and I were touching on before we started was the importance of telling a story.
Yes.
And the story in the city of Homestead, for a long time, unfortunately, we allowed the Hurricane Andrew to define not only the city but the whole region, and the almost woe's me attitude. So we have a group of people that maybe never heard of Hurricane Andrew, and they say we want to build this thing here.
Well, I mean, I've heard of Hurricane Andrew.
No, but the people, the sports folks came out from Argentina and said, we want to do it here because they've discovered Homestead before many of our own folks, right?
So it's as you said, Richard, it's about the timing, right? And the Sports Hub team, they needed a space. They had the vision to see that this particular location not only could serve their needs for tomorrow, right, but for the next 20, 30, 40 years. And that is what vision is about, and being able to make those right investment and really striking while the iron is hot. So, Hurricane Andrew is a thing. It was a devastating moment for the city and the region, and what I've learned since my time being in Homestead is that it's important to acknowledge that and to recognize that, because it is a part of the city's history and the region's history. But it is also important for us to move beyond and take that history with us, but also recognize that it's time to move forward and really embrace what the region has to offer.
Municipalities have a greater burden of telling a story than other levels of government, I find, because they are the ones that are going to most benefit from it. I want to go ahead and put on your calendar for us to sit down around this time next year.
Okay.
Because like you said, we're going to start off the year with a groundbreaking in Q1.
Yep.
And then everything's going to happen in Miami-Dade County. It's going to be the regular things, the food
And
fair,
it's
the this.
FIFA.
Then there's a World Cup.
Yep, there's
and then,
FIFA.
And then the bookend is going to be the championship race in NASCAR. So
Yep.
then we'll speak to you mid-November.
Of course.
And you'll be like, okay, Richard, let's just...
Right.
I will have a great story.
We'll be tired,
We'll have a great story.
but we will have a fantastic story. And then hopefully we also have a new another project that we're working on, which is the redevelopment of the old City Hall site, right? So we also Flanagan is coming to Homestead, right? Which is another exciting opportunity for the city. So
You gotta have a place to watch the soccer
you
game.
do.
Yeah,
So
you gotta get in.
so it's working out well, and the team is really doing a fantastic job in moving the needle forward.
I had a list of questions. We've gotten through half of them. I really look forward to speaking with you. Thank you very much for the time, Kimar.
No, thank you,
Richard.
Richard.
It's been a privilege to speak with you, and it's been really, really nice to get to know you.
No, thank you. It was a pleasure, and thanks for having me.
Thank you. And a real quick point of personal privilege, Enzi, if you could just... us and letting us tell your story here in the South Dade Shoutout. My name